Iowa's area education agencies are about to be reformed. That's after Governor Kim Reynolds signed the AEA bill into law earlier today. It underwent tense debate, multiple rewrites and amendments, the final revision passing just yesterday. Now, the law gives schools more control of their funds for AEA services. Iowa schools will be required to use 90% of their funds for special education services on AEAs. And the new law also includes pay raises for teachers. In the first year, minimum teacher salaries will go up to $47,500 and then $50,000 by year 2. It also sets this year's state supplemental aid funding at 2.5%. Now, before signing, Governor Reynolds expressed gratitude on the collaboration to get this bill passed.
While this bill has been the focus of much discussion and debate, it has also presented opportunities for insightful conversations and meaningful compromise.
Reynolds says this legislation unlocks the potential for student success and puts a plan in place to reform Iowa's area education agencies, which have been operating for 50 years. Now, many Republicans who worked on this bill joined the governor as she put pen to paper, though Democrats held their own meeting after the bill was signed. Local 5's Dana Searles was at the bill signing and joins us now. Dana, what were some of the reactions?
Well, Stephanie, it was a long road to get here. Reynolds introduced the bill back in January, but saw continuous back and forth between the House and the Senate. And today, Republicans were confident in these changes, while Democrats are still questioning these reforms.
Republican lawmakers who led the AEA reform efforts stood by Governor Reynolds' side as she signed the AEA bill into law.
But I just think this is a great example of how our republic works. We brought everybody to the table. All the stakeholders were brought to the table.
The bill faced criticism from Iowans saying there is no need for this. However, Reynolds says after 20 years of failure, this is necessary.
It hasn't been the experience for all students in schools. Some schools haven't used some of the AEA services despite being forced to pay for them. Others have felt that they didn't receive the quality that they expect.
Democratic lawmakers completely disagree.
I know they've been working on it for a long time to solve a problem that doesn't exist, doesn't really fix the issue.
The changes go into effect July 1st and will be phased out over 2 years, requiring schools to decide how they want to use the funding on certain services and adjust their overall budgets to these reforms. Republican legislators say this will be another win for Iowa kids.
We are improving on a system that will see increases in outcomes for our students. There are those opposing this that tend to oppose every effort we have made to improve education in our state.
However, Democrats say this issue alone will impact the upcoming election.
But they know what happened last Thursday. They know this was rushed, and Iowans know when they're getting the wool pulled over their eyes.
All of the reforms in this bill make changes to the overall budget that schools set. That deadline to submit budgets was February 9th. Now schools will have to implement these reforms and possibly adjust their budgets. Stephanie?